You check your bank account. Your heart drops. Another month, same story. You work hard. You earn money. But somehow, it just disappears. What if I told you it's not about how much you earn? It's about how you think. Hello friends, welcome back to Mind Fuel. Today we're breaking down one of the most powerful books ever written about money. It's called The Psychology of Money. Stay till the end, because lesson number 7 will completely change how you see your bank balance. This book was written by Housel. He's not a banker. He's not a stock trader. He's a writer who studies how people really behave with money, and that's why this book became so popular. Most money books teach you formulas, spreadsheets, numbers. But Housel says something different. He says money is not math, money is behavior. Think about that for a second. You already know you should save money. You already know you should avoid debt. But knowing is not the problem. Doing is the problem. That's the gap this book fills. It doesn't teach you what to do. It teaches you why you don't do it. And here's why you should care. A janitor named Ronald Reed died with $8 million. He never had a high income. He just understood money differently than most people. Meanwhile, some Wall Street executives with huge salaries go bankrupt. Same world. Same access to information. Completely different results. So what's the real difference? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's psychology. This is the core idea of the whole book. Your success with money has very little to do with how smart you are. It has everything to do with how you behave. Doctors don't struggle with financial advice because it's complicated. It's actually simple. Save more than you spend. Invest for the long term. Avoid debt. Everyone already knows this. But your emotions get in the way. Fear makes you sell at the wrong time. Greed makes you buy at the wrong time. Ego makes you spend money you don't have to impress people who don't care. Housel says finance is less about what you know and more about how you behave. Let's break this idea into simple lessons you can actually use. Lesson 1. No one is crazy. Have you ever looked at someone's money decisions and thought, that makes no sense? Here's the truth. It makes sense to them. Imagine two people. Sarah grew up during a time when the stock market crashed hard. Her family lost everything. Now Sarah avoids investing completely. She keeps all her money in cash. Now imagine James. He grew up in a wealthy family. He watched investing build generational wealth. He puts almost everything into stocks. Are either of them crazy? No. They both learned different lessons from different experiences. Your view of money was shaped by the years you were born, the family you grew up in, and the experiences you lived through. No two people see money the same way. This matters because you need to stop judging your own money decisions by someone else's rules. And you need to stop copying other people's strategies without understanding your own story. Once you understand this, you stop feeling confused about why you behave the way you do with money. You start making choices based on your life, not someone else's. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Lesson 2. Luck and Risk. Bill Gates went to one of the only high schools in the world that had a computer. That's not skill. That's luck. His friend Kent Evans could have built Microsoft with him. But Kent died in a mountain climbing accident before he got the chance. That's not failure. That's risk. Housel says luck and risk are two sides of the same coin. Every success story has some luck in it. Every failure story has some risk in it. This is why you should be careful who you copy. Copying an extremely successful person's exact moves can be dangerous. You don't know how much luck was involved. Let's make this simple. Imagine two friends both open a coffee shop. One becomes famous because it's featured on a food show. The other, doing everything right, quietly fails because of bad timing. Same effort. Different luck. This is why you should focus less on outcomes and more on process. Judge your decisions by whether they were reasonable, not just by whether they worked out. This idea humbles you. It also protects you. Because when things go wrong, it's not always your fault. And when things go right, it's not always your genius. Lesson 3. Never enough. This lesson might be the most dangerous trap in the entire book. Imagine a man who already has more money than he could spend in 10 lifetimes. But he keeps taking bigger and bigger risks, trying to get even more. This actually happened. A hedge fund manager named Rajat Gupta was already worth over $100 million. But he wanted $1 billion. He committed insider trading to get there. He lost everything and went to prison. Why does this happen? Because there is no finish line in wealth. There's always someone richer. There's always more to want. Housel says the hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. When your desires grow faster than your bank account, you will never feel wealthy, no matter how much you earn. This applies to your life too, maybe not millions of dollars. But think about lifestyle creep. You get a raise, and suddenly you need a bigger apartment, a nicer car, more expensive vacations. The moment your spending grows, every time your income grows, you're running a race that never ends. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Know when you have enough. Enough doesn't mean giving up ambition. It means protecting yourself from the kind of greed that destroys everything you've already built. This brings us to one of the most important lessons in the entire book. Lesson 4. The power of compounding. Warren Buffett is worth over $100 billion. But here's the surprising part. Over 95% of that wealth came after he turned 65 years old. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Was he a genius investor only in his later years? No. He simply invested consistently since he was 10 years old. He gave his money decades to grow. This is the power of compounding. It's not about getting huge returns quickly. It's about getting decent returns and staying invested for a very long time. Imagine planting a tree. In year 1, it looks small, boring, almost pointless, but give it 30 years, and it becomes a giant no one can ignore. Most people want fast results. They chase quick wins. But Housel shows us that slow, steady growth, given enough time, becomes unstoppable. This is why starting early matters so much more than starting big. A person who invests a small amount at 20 years old will often end up wealthier than someone who invests a much larger amount starting at 40. Time is the real magic ingredient, not intelligence, not timing the market perfectly, just time. So if you've been waiting for the perfect moment to start saving or investing, this is your sign. The best time was years ago. The second best time is today. We've covered how your personal history shapes your money decisions, how luck and risk quietly control outcomes, how endless desire can destroy everything you've built, and how patience is the real secret weapon of the wealthy. But we're just getting started. The next lessons dig even deeper into the emotional side of money, the fear that makes people sell at the worst possible time, and the one trait that matters more than intelligence when it comes to building real wealth. Fear plays a bigger role in your money decisions than you probably realize. Let's look at why. Lesson 5. Freedom is the highest dividend. A nurse named Maria worked long shifts for years. She didn't spend much. She wasn't trying to get rich to buy fancy things. She saved so she could have choices. The choice to leave a stressful job. The choice to take 3 months off. The choice to say no to things she didn't want to do. Housel says the highest form of wealth is not a mansion or a sports car. It's control over your own time. Think about the last time you felt truly stressed about money. It probably wasn't about not having enough stuff. It was about not having options. Feeling stuck, that's the real cost of a life, with no savings. You lose the power to choose. You have to say yes to a job you hate, because you need the paycheck. You have to stay in situations that drain you, because you can't afford to leave. Money's greatest value isn't the things it buys. It's the freedom it gives you to live life on your own terms. This is why building savings matters, even if you never buy anything fancy with it. The purpose isn't the number in your account. The purpose is the freedom that number represents. Lesson 6. Wealth is what you don't see. Have you ever seen someone with a brand new car, designer clothes, and thought, wow, they must be rich? Here's the twist. That's not wealth. That's spending. Wealth is the money you don't spend. It's sitting quietly in a bank account or an investment portfolio, completely invisible to everyone around you. Housel gives a simple example. A man buys an expensive car with money he doesn't fully have. Other people see the car and assume he's wealthy, but buying that car actually made him less wealthy, not more. True wealth is often invisible, because it's the assets you're not converting into fancy things you can show off. This is why comparing yourself to people who look rich is dangerous. You have no idea what their bank account actually looks like. Some of the most financially secure people you'll ever meet live in ordinary houses and drive ordinary cars. If you want to build real wealth, you have to be comfortable not looking rich. You have to let your bank account grow quietly, even while other people spend loudly. Lesson 7. Save money just because. Here's something most people get wrong. They think you only need to save for a specific goal. A house, a car, a vacation. But Housel says you should save money for no reason at all. Why? Because the future is unpredictable. You can't plan for every emergency, every opportunity, every twist life throws at you. Imagine two friends. One only saves when there's a clear goal in mind. The other saves consistently, just to have a cushion. When both of them suddenly lose their jobs, guess who sleeps better at night? The one with no specific goal, just extra savings sitting there, has flexibility. They can handle the unexpected without falling apart. This is the lesson so many people miss. Saving isn't just for buying things. It's for protecting your peace of mind. It's for giving yourself room to breathe when life gets unpredictable. Start treating savings like a habit, not a task tied to a single goal. The goal is simply having options when you need them most. Lesson 8. You'll change over time. The last big lesson in this book might be the most humbling one. The person you are today is not the person you'll be in 10 years. Your goals will change. Your values will change. Even the things you thought you wanted might feel completely different later. Housel calls this the end of history illusion. We all believe we've mostly finished growing as people, but looking back, we can see how much we've changed. We just don't expect to keep changing in the future. This matters for money, because long-term financial plans need room to bend. The career you're saving for at 25 might not be the one you want at 35. The lifestyle you're building toward might completely shift. Don't lock yourself into extreme financial decisions based on who you are today. Leave room for change. Avoid decisions you can't undo. Now let's bring everything together. Every lesson we covered connects to one central idea. Money is not about spreadsheets and formulas. It's about behavior, patience, and humility. Your history shapes how you see risk. Luck plays a bigger role than you think. Wanting too much can destroy what you've built. Time and patience quietly build fortunes. Freedom, not fancy things, is the real prize. True wealth stays invisible. Saving without a specific reason protects your future. And who you are today isn't who you'll always be. So how do you actually apply all of this? Here's a simple 5-step plan you can start using this week. Step 1. Automate your savings, even if it's a small amount. Consistency matters more than the size. Step 2. Stop comparing your financial journey to anyone else's. Their story, their luck, their timing is different from yours. Step 3. Invest early, even with small amounts, and let compounding work for decades, not months. Step 4. Build a savings cushion with no specific purpose attached to it. This buys you flexibility when life surprises you. Step 5. Focus on freedom, not flashy purchases. Ask yourself if a purchase gives you more control over your life or less. Here's the truth. You don't need to be a genius to build wealth. You don't need a huge salary. You need patience. You need humility. And you need to understand your own behavior around money. Morgan Housel didn't write this book to make you smarter with numbers. He wrote it to make you wiser with your choices. Your financial future isn't decided by the market. It's decided by you, one small decision at a time. If this video gave you even one new way to think about your money, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Mindfuel so you never miss a book breakdown like this one. Drop a comment and tell me which lesson hit you the hardest. And share this with someone who needs to hear it today. I'll see you in the next one.